What up? What's going on, folks? Welcome everybody to episode 87 of Shut Up, Let's Talk. Joined tonight by Ghost the Young Sage.
Ghosty.
Ghosty himself,
Sir
man.
Ghost is my dog Two Tray. Shout out to Two Tray.
Sir Ghostington himself. I love it, man. Thank you for being here tonight, brother. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Just got off of work and record high temperatures, climbing ladders.
Dude, it was so hot today, man. Guys, was it hot where you were? Because if you were on the planet Earth, then yes, it was hot today.
Yeah, if you climb a 8-foot ladder right above your ceiling, it's like 30 degrees hotter, I guarantee you.
Yeah, actually, we were talking a little bit off the air a second ago about the fact that you work in some extreme conditions, man. Like, that's kind of intense, man.
Yeah, I install AC duct in it's luckily it's pre-construction, so there's no ceiling to deal with.
Oh, good.
So I just climb around in the trusses like a monkey and sweat like crazy.
How do you like that job, man? Like, do you?
It's got its perks. I get paid really pretty well, and
Cool.
because I
The
have
ultimate perk.
that's I don't get paid better than anybody here in Miami. I know quite a few people that get paid a lot more than I do. It's kind
That's
of
all right.
the only way that it balances out is the benefits and the fact that they have a company vehicle, so I don't have to spend any gas or maintenance on my vehicle at all.
That's beautiful.
It works out, man. It really does.
That's a good position to be in. How do you think that job affects your music at all? Like, do you have a chance to, like, do you write songs while you're at work sometimes, like in your head, you know? Like, do you think of lines and shit?
Not necessarily. It's more like when I'm on break at work, I'm always trying to make business moves while I'm out.
That's a good idea, man. Time management is the toughest thing, isn't it?
Yeah, when I'm at home and I'm relaxed, then I create. But I'm not necessarily. I'm not pitch perfect in my head, so I don't really come up with ideas.
That's hard, though. I don't have perfect pitch either.
Yeah, but
Approximate.
if you have it close enough, you can come up with ideas out.
Yeah.
You can just whistle them to yourself until you hear something.
That's how I make riffs all day. I just hum them and whistle them. Literally whistle them.
I have such a terrible memory, man. So I need a recording device right
That's awesome.
near me when
Do you do that? Do you have like a little recorder, or you just put it in your phone?
I use MIDI. So as a producer, all my stuff is completely original. I have a complete control keyboard at home.
Yes.
And it's
Complete control. First of all, those are amazing. Let's zoom out a little bit really quick, folks. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight on episode 87 of Shut Up, Let's Talk. Ghost the Young Sage, my friend. Thank you for joining us tonight. I know I already said all this, but I feel like saying it again because I feel like we just zoomed right by that. And who are you, my man? You make really good music.
I hope so. I have a lot out at the current moment, but it's all created by me, mixed by me, recorded by me, written by me. I'm a producer, engineer, rapper, and studio owner.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of work, but sounds like a lot of fun also.
It's a lot more fun than it is work, and that's the way that you have to look at it. Otherwise, it'll destroy you.
That's the universal dream, dude. More fun, all play, no work, right?
Yeah, you gotta constantly be thinking of new ways to try and beat everybody out. There's so many studios, especially where I live. I live over in Miami Lakes. You can throw a rock and hit a studio over there.
That's you know what's funny? Speaking of Miami Lakes, and a lot of people it's funny because that little neighborhood. A lot of people that have been on the show are from there, and I noticed it's a very creative little neighborhood.
There's a lot of freedom going on.
It is a very creative little neighborhood, man. Like, I'm not that little town. So many musicians, so many artists, photographers. I know they're everywhere. There's gonna be people. There's everywhere, but not on that level. But it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, Miami Lakes and Wynwood. It's so weird that how driven as far as creativity they are.
It's unbelievable, right? Like it's like
they go really far out of their way to
the local meccas of music.
Yeah, I mean, we just all need to organize better, and then we can just become one giant network.
That's something that we and you spoke about a little while ago. Was the fact that there's a little divide between South Florida hip hop, which is one of the topics that we have listed below, and the divide between Broward County and Dade County you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's just really
you mind if I turn up our headphones a little bit?
Yeah, not a problem. To me, it doesn't seem like there's any kind of outrageous beef between, like or a war or anything crazy like that. It's more just like people are afraid to work with what they don't know.
Yes.
So they just kind of look at each other as outsiders.
Yeah, right. Like, this is the Lil Wayne quote from last week. It's not my swag.
Yeah.
This is not my swag.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was a lot of that. I remember because I kind of came from the metal scene, back then.
Oh, and there was a huge divide in rock.
Yeah.
In the early 5 or 6 years ago, definitely.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people that there's a lot of people that did not want to work with each other at some point, and that's the divide, is that everybody feels like if I work with you, then that's half my money gone.
Yeah, South Florida's a bit cold as far as California's really focused on creativity, and Atlanta has finally gotten to the same point.
Yeah, Atlanta's on some next level.
Yeah, they're
stuff
taking
right
it.
now.
They're taking it beyond where Cali has it, and that's where Miami should be going, but we have stuff that prevents us from doing so. I mean, R.I.P. Triple X Tentacion.
Oh yeah.
The dude shot, and they're filming it instead.
Oh, that was the worst, dude. I saw that. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
That is the most South Florida thing I've ever
Yeah.
fucking seen in my life.
I couldn't believe it, and it was multiple people. Like, I mean, well, why wouldn't there be? But it was crazy though. It was just crazy. It's crazy. It was like those weird T-shirts, and it was like a weird movie like satire.
It was like a political cartoon.
Yes,
exactly
yes.
like what you were talking about.
You know what I mean?
For that shit.
It really was, man. I couldn't. It affected me like that because I was like, man, this shouldn't be. I remember that video was intense too, man. Him and his the BMW.
I couldn't watch it more than once, and even then,
yeah, I
feel
shouldn't
like
have even done it.
All of these videos are designed to put you in a place like you pressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. What do you think about Gucci being a clone?
I don't know how I feel about that.
He says that.
I don't think you can clone Gucci.
That is the most true statement.
Yeah,
of all time.
I don't think he's the greatest legend of all time, but
yeah,
I do think he's original.
Exactly. You can't clone that. Man, I was thinking about that earlier because I saw some video the other day where he was playing basketball, somebody fouled him, and then the comments were nothing but, "That's not Gucci. That's a clone. When's the last time you saw Gucci play ball? Gucci hasn't touched the ball in 15 years." I'm like, you don't even know this man.
That's just trolling. That's another part of the culture now.
Funny. Oh, the trolling. Yeah, cool not to care, right?
I mean, at this point, if a troll bothers you, maybe you have a problem.
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe that's something to get past.
They're not in the same room with you.
That's a good idea, man.
Just
those are major keys, right?
I mean, they're everywhere, and the moment you say anything, it doesn't matter how snappy or cool the response is, they still win. So just bury that shit like everybody else and move on. Like,
yeah, that's true. You can't linger on that kind of stuff. I think we talked about that a couple episodes ago. Is that even if there's a couple of haters that come in your life, you can't. If you let it slow you down, that there's no way you're gonna win.
If you spend any energy focusing on your haters, you're focusing in the wrong place.
Yeah, completely, man.
You have so much to do. You know what I mean? You have so much to do for yourself. To waste any time worried about somebody who isn't gonna directly,
it doesn't help you in any way.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It doesn't.
And there's a lot to do out there, isn't it? Speaking of, I'd like to get into one of your first tunes, my man.
Thank you. There's many. I'm so excited right now. This 2019 is like all my material is finally coming out. I have an album coming out. These are the first 2 singles. I have another single coming. I have a bunch of features. Been networking.
Whoa.
It's really an awesome year for me.
I'm honestly excited, man. And, a familiar face of Shut Up, Let's Talk is going to be on the album, supposedly.
Oh, yes. MIC, the man.
We're letting it out. Okay, cool. I didn't want to let it
Yeah, I mean...
just in case.
I can let you know that he's going to be on it. It doesn't matter. You're still going to be blown away.
Still going to be good. Yeah, no, I'm legitimately excited. Because, honestly, I do really like your music. The hook for the next song that we're about to listen to is one of the catchiest hooks I've heard in a long time. And
yeah,
I'm not.
I had to embrace the Barry White for this one.
Did it take a while to get the well, you know what? Let's put it on for the people, and then so that they know what we're talking about, and then we're gonna go ahead and talk about this. So up next, folks, we've got "Lighten Up" by Ghost the Young Sage.
Young sage, and I'm here to say, kick back, relax, hit wax and chill as the song replays. Hard to keep these alligators on the ground, call me Ric Flair. How do I come up with this shit? Because I'm sick, player, cheesing for no reason, squinting like a Polynesian. Been puffing on the green like it was going out of season. Up higher than the penthouse, smoke is all I vent out. This pen's how I let out the shit that gets me stressed out. As I watch the smoke curling off this J, searching for a better way, praying for some better days. Mama said we'll be okay, even though she never see the struggles you be faced with. Still somehow she knew deep inside that you would make it. I stay focused, keep it posting, breathe the smoke and just for coping. Ride the wave and keep it coasting to the brokens who I'm toasting. Put up your cups, get high as fucking hold your lighters up. Life can get a little rough, so that's why we lighting up. Lighting up, that's why we lighting up. Smoking every moment cause we never getting high enough. My homie lighting up, staying elevated, trying to rising up. Lighting up, that's why we lighting up. Smoking every moment cause we never getting high enough. Lighting up, my homie lighting up, staying elevated, trying to rising up. Stoned as a biblical whore, get on.
I'm so glad we ended on my favorite line of that song.
I mentioned that in our comments.
You did mention that. And stoned like a biblical whore.
Fun little side note, folks. If you guys want to get your music internationally recognized, I don't recommend using biblical references.
Don't have that as your opener. That's hilarious. I love it, man. Don't play that in Saudi Arabia. They're not fans of that over there. They're fans of the topic that you talked about.
No, my buddy showed me a fucking like this credit system where you can submit your music to different like radio stations, underground and streaming wise and stuff like that.
Whoa. And do you mind saying it? What is it?
Submit Hub.
Submit Hub. That's cool.
SubmitHub.com. It's a really helpful tool, but it's really complicated to understand. There's a lot of fine print. So you pay money. They try to make it as simple for you as they can. You pay money, you get credits, and you use credits.
Wow.
But when you use the credits, all the different places that you go have different criteria.
Like a video game. They got their own little system going on.
It's more like what they'll accept and what they won't accept and what genre they're looking for their streaming platform and what they aren't. So
okay, cool.
You're playing a game, and if they reject you, you get your credits back.
Oh, cool.
So I mean, it's not like you're losing.
It's not gambling, right?
Yeah, but it's really tedious work to go in and read every single criteria and then know what they mean and how far it goes. You know, when they say explicit material, what is that?
Oh, in different countries.
In different countries, that can mean anything.
So what did you have to deal with? Like where, you know, is there a place that
I posted it in like 8 different countries outside of the U.S. and Mexico was like the only one to accept it. Everywhere else was like, sorry, dude, you said biblical horror. So
that is so.
I mean, they didn't say that directly, but there wasn't.
That's what they were. Yeah,
that was definitely what they were referring to.
That's amazing, folks.
It's a censorship.
It's censorship. Fuck censorship. Well, you know what? That's one of the things I like the most about Shut Up, Let's Talk, and what we do is like we get to talk. Yeah, we get to.
That.
Yeah, dude, we get to talk about whatever we want, and that's the coolest thing in the world to me.
You know, I'm like really tripped out that you have the same speakers as me.
Oh, dude, and it was an amazing. How much did you pay for? I got them for $100 each at Sam Ash.
But you got them I got them when they first came out, so it was like $300. They were brand new. Why did you buy them? What was the selling point? Just the price?
Honestly, yes, and I listened to them. I listen to
I mean,
it, and
Resolve is always good, but
Yeah.
the reason why this model is so fancy is because of the tweeters. Do they look like normal tweeters?
you know, it's funny. I really don't even know.
Tweeters are normally like the circular thing, the little silver circle top.
Okay.
Those aren't circular.
Oh, so what's the difference on them?
Those are ribbon tweeters, and they reduce ear fatigue, is what they sell the idea as. If you want my personal experience,
Please.
it means that they lowered the bass, or they at least made the bass move faster. You know, like the airwaves, the air pressure of the speaker moves
Right.
the bass faster, so it doesn't hit your ear so abrasively, and you can listen to them longer. That's why I bought them. Then I got them and was like, oh crap, these aren't KRKs. You know.
That's so funny, man. I never knew that at all, and that's well. I'm glad you told me that because now I like them more.
Dude, each fucking piece of gear you buy has a different thing about it.
Yeah, like a sound, right? A characteristic.
Yeah, it's either a good or a bad thing. And some of them, you know, you gotta weigh them both. And,
Yeah.
The reason I like those is because of that. The only thing I will say is that they get really hot over time.
They do.
And they also they start crackling, and it's because they have this card in the back that's held together with like silver solder,
Oh no way!
and the solder melts like off from the heat.
From the heat.
Yeah, so
Whoa,
it
dude.
loosens it, and then you start to get the crackling from the bass, causing the speaker to move, and it shakes the
That's
thing
amazing.
around.
Well, so the funny thing is you actually used them. You know, like use them.
No, I paid for them to be replaced, and then when
I just hit the button to go down on my chair with my own leg. So like I was surprised. I was like, what's happening?
he busted wide open.
Oh my god.
Hey man, you mind if I hit my cart?
Go for it, my man. Go for it, brother.
No,
How do?
I meant.
Oh yeah, do your thing, brother. Feel free, man. Lighten up. That's why we lighten up.
Yeah, that song was actually a really deep track if you listen to the lyrics. The bass in my voice makes it hard to interpret completely.
No, it was about escape.
It was about reaching a common ground, kind of. You know what I mean? Like you gotta lighten up a little bit, because right now in 2019,
Yes.
people are so critical about everything, and they're kind of everybody's becoming a troll. And we need to lighten up.
I kind of you know what? It's funny, man. The internet really is like the Wild West right now. It's like, you know,
Freedom and no consequences.
yeah. To be honest, man, like the YouTube comments, man, like on popular videos. Sometimes I look in there and I'm just like, this is insane. Like it's crazy to me that actual human beings leave these comments.
It's
wild.
I have this theory.
Oh shit.
They're not human beings.
Oh no. They're like part of like the weird Matrix,
It's the Mandela effect.
right? Hey.
No, let's not go down that K-hole.
Yeah, Robbie, the Shazam movie, which I could have swore we all saw that movie.
No, the Into the Spider-Verse movie, which I feel like was
I haven't seen the Spider-Man.
yeah, that was a really interesting movie.
Man, I'm so bad with the movies and the TV, man. Like I'm really bad with keeping up with that stuff.
Because I'm a producer, I'm like super obsessed with all the music in every TV show, so
That's
I do
amazing.
a lot of binging.
That's what, dude, man. I got to get back to that because I did a lot of that at one point. I don't know why I fell out of it. You know, like I think once the superhero
is not productive to to binge, but that's why you
Kinda,
fill in. That's why you like alternate. See,
Yeah.
I can't produce for more than a couple hours at a time, so I take a little break, watch a show,
Oh, that's cool.
and it like decompresses your ears a little bit.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Damn, dude, you got me thinking about like how do I manage my like how do I manage the creative to like chill factor? And it's like I guess at certain times I do like a bunch of shit at once, like which is kind of weird because like there'll be a day where I'll make a guitar video, you know, like just playing music. So in that one day, like that one morning, I'm like using the program to make the song. I'm filming it, and then I got to edit and put it out as well, all in like a 5-hour span or less, you know, because it's just like you just do it and get it done. So it's just kind of funny. It's kind of like I never thought of it that way, that I just kind of go through the whole ringer like it's like an obstacle course.
You said 5 hours?
Yeah, just make a thing, get it done, and just put it out and make an Instagram clip for a minute, you know,
That's crazy.
or you know more. But yeah,
Do you take smoke breaks or anything?
I mean, you know, I had coffee, man.
Okay, I
love
was gonna
coffee.
say, man, I don't even know.
But you know what? To me, like I try not to. But that's because I think maybe you're really listening to the frequencies, and maybe you mix it more than I do, and you perfect it. Like at some point, I think I just kind of push it out, and I try not to get caught up on it.
I think
hard.
it has a lot to do with what tools you're using.
Yeah. Oh,
what
yeah.
tools? By the way, what software do you use for mixing?
Honestly, I just do everything in Ableton.
Oh man, I just got Ableton, and strictly for my keyboard.
How do you like it?
What
were you using before? Sorry.
I started because I learned FL when I was sampling.
Sweet.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
FL is really hard to sample in.
No.
For me, it was.
For me, it was the opposite.
Would you use SliceX?
Yeah.
Dude, it was hard for me.
Fruity Slicer. SliceX
Fruity
was
Slicer.
terrible.
I hated SliceX.
Yeah, SliceX was terrible. You got to use the Fruity Slicer.
Fruity Slicer, man.
Yeah, it cuts it by the beat, and then you can move each, like it shows you where the lines are, and you can cut them real easily and stuff. But I was terrible at making beats at this time, and I gladly erased everything I made from that point in my life because I didn't understand music theory, and that's something I wanted to talk about on this show.
Oh, cool.
If you're a producer that doesn't,
Uh-oh.
well, yeah.
Is he being funky with you?
Yeah, he scratched me a little bit.
Hey, can you not, buddy?
I'm okay. But whatchamacallit, if you're a producer that music theory isn't law, but understanding construction of a song is how you make a song.
Yeah, like, dude, intervals, like,
it's not even theory, it's pre-theory. This is what they teach babies. Like, this is what they teach children learning the piano in order to create their own stuff.
Oh, like the happy birthday song, how like one interval right at the end, like the happy birthday, like that, the quick, the long one.
It's more like understanding keys and scales.
Oh.
And if you're in a band, you don't even think about that stuff at all because you guys are linked in this group where it's like when you say I'm gonna change to this, you guys know.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're a rapper producer who's been doing nothing but hip hop, you don't get that experience, so you have no idea what the hell a key is.
Yeah.
And the first time it really hits you in the face is when you use auto-tune.
And it all sounds like really like wavy.
No, you can't tell somebody what setting to put on auto-tune if you don't
because
know the key of your song.
Yeah, because you got to pick you got to pick the key. Yeah, that's so true to set it.
And even me, I'm not claiming to be some music theory expert. I'm actually terrible at theory, but I work at it every single day.
Yeah, and same, even me myself. Like, I don't really use theory on the guitar much, except to just kind of, I use theory and feel at the same time.
You feel it's ear training is theory too.
Yeah, I like intervals more than I like notes.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, I like
Chords,
the concept of numbers as notes.
Chords, triads, fifths, and
so fifths, thirds, like sevenths, things like that.
You know when to use them, right?
Yeah, and it's about when to use them and also what they sound like. Mm-hmm. It's like when you hear a certain chord, you should be able to in your head make that interval change happen and then hopefully be able to transfer that to the guitar. It's just recognizing it first is the hard part. And what we're talking about, folks, sorry, I know we're starting using code words and not code words, we're using lingo, and that can get kind of funky in understanding.
Intervals are two notes spaced apart from each other.
Pretty much, like one note to the next, and you could it'll be.
It's usually one that's skipping a note in between to make it sound good. That's usually an interval. Yes, when you hit two white keys, but they're not right next to each other. Exactly. That's an interval, and that's called a perfect interval, right? Or a perfect third. I don't know the tech. Let's not ruin.
Yeah, there's
people's
heavy.
minds.
It gets heavy.
I'm not an expert, guys. I'm not an expert, but it is important. So I have a little book at home with all the scales literally highlighted. It's a chart.
Sweet.
All musicians should have charts. I mean, I'm pretty sure you have a chart lying around here somewhere.
I got the music theory for dummies out here. Yeah.
Everybody's got a chart if they're playing an instrument.
For sure.
Luckily, I figured out that technology is catching up with us, and I bought the Complete Control that has all the theory built in for you. So
whoa, no way.
Yeah, dude, it has a light board.
What?
It lights up all the notes for you.
Stop it.
And then you can lock in the scale so that you can blindfold yourself and literally not play a wrong note.
That's
it's gonna sound terrible.
That's magic.
It's gonna sound terrible if you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Because it's going to the nearest note possible. So if you play something, it's gonna sound pretty stupid.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. you hit the nail on the head a little bit earlier when you said that auto-tune is when you find out that people should learn theory, not just because you
It's
have
more
to,
hip hop artists than
for sure. Well, you're completely right about that, but
Because you know that you had to learn theory as soon as you played in a band, and you tried to communicate. Oh, I want to switch to na 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 na, and nobody knew what the fuck you were talking.
yeah, you know what's funny? A lot of as a teenager, I ignored theory a lot.
Of course,
You know, and
structure, rebel.
Yeah, right, pretty much. And then in my 20s, it like, you know, that's when I kind of looked at the guitar and I was like, oh, like these notes. Would you like another beer, my friend?
No, I'm good. It's not
Good.
even halfway.
Thank you,
I've been
man.
talking way
I'll
too
take it.
much. I'm trying to shut
No,
myself
not
up
at
a
all,
little
man.
bit.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Shut up. You talk.
Hey, man, we're here to talk, man. I love it. I love it. Yeah, man, I was thinking about it earlier, and it was just kind of like when I got into my 20s is kind of when I looked at theory, because my favorite guitar player, Joe Satriani, his birthday was 2 days ago.
The chills.
He's so good, man. And I look at him, and he's a theory wizard, beyond everything. But and not just that, he feels through it. And he said the most important thing I've ever heard in my life, for me musically as a guitar player. He said, learn all the theory, but don't sit there and play scales for hours, because he's like, nobody's going to buy tickets to see you play scales. They want to hear songs. Like, they want to hear music.
The goal is to use the scales to keep yourself sharp so that you can create your own music. Mm-hmm. And hear when you're in a certain scale creatively, which is what I do.
Absolutely. Oh, you're going to pass it up there? Oh,
I'll put it off to the side.
thank you, my love. The lovely Claudia keeping the beer supply at a steady high. Mm-hmm. I'm loving it. I'm loving
knows
it.
how this works.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She's done this more than we have.
Right. I'm telling you, man. It's her show, really. I'm just the fill-in that's been here for a while. But,
All right, kitty.
sorry, love, can you just
You haven't bit me yet.
Right. Thankfully, which is shocking. You know what's
It's
funny?
because of my reaction, I'm like really calm. I can tell he's just testing me.
You're completely right, because when a lot of people get scared of him, they look directly at him,
He
and I think that
loves it.
triggers it.
He
Yeah,
loves it.
he lives for the kill.
It's like you have to communicate that you can totally eradicate his existence, but you choose not to.
You know
And
what?
then
That's
they're
true.
cool. And then they're cool.
You know what's funny? That is the same relationship that I've had with him, because when he was younger, he's an abnormally aggressive cat sometimes. But when he was younger, I saw a few videos that used to say that that they were just kind of like assert the dominance a little bit. Hey, he's a boy cat, so they're
They're even worse.
yeah.
Female cats are a little bit more relaxed
Yes.
till they're
yes.
in heat, but
Yes. So and that's I'm not the authority on cats. So if you guys know any tips or whatever, feel free to send them this way. Ghost the Young Sage, man. We were talking about mixing techniques, man. So let's talk a little bit about your voice, because it's a very deep voice. You know who you remind me of a lot vocally?
tell me,
Trey
the truth.
One of my favorites.
I will literally give my left testicle to work on that voice. No homo, but real talk.
It reminded me, because I love Trey's music, man.
I need the
and
experience.
Zero and all those guys.
I need the whole crew from the South has the deep thing going on. So like I really, I think I need to go to ATL now that you just said that. I didn't realize
ATL or
how-
Houston.
Yeah, all the UGK tribe.
UGK is my favorite, actually.
Oh man, I can't even begin to tell you.
Riding
how
Dirty is a perfect album.
much. Pocket full of stones.
Oh my God!
Every time I hear that horn, I get chills. I love it, and then the
I gotta
piano
re-listen to
that
that.
follows it.
It's funny. I love that particular song, but I don't listen to it as much, because I like the later albums quite a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But that first album, the one where they're like super young and they're like crouched down on the cover or whatever it is,
That's the where Pocket full of
coming out
stones is
hard.
from.
What's the album called? I don't remember.
I can't remember to save my life either, but I
can't
know
remember.
the song.
It's got front, back, side to side, which is another great song too.
If my homeboy AC Ace was here, shout out to AC Ace.
Shout out to
co-producer.
ACH, man, another great producer.
He's my co-producer, man. He's the right hand in Sagecraft. By the way, this is a shirt.
Yeah, I saw him in your video.
Yeah.
Oh, we should have played the video for Lighten Up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
shout
forgot
out
you
to the cameraman for that. Carlos.
Carlos Baca.
Yes, sir.
That's
I haven't
what's
talked
up.
to him in a while.
That was an assumption. I'm sorry. I'm glad I was right though.
Well, I knew because I saw the clips that he was on here, so I was like,
Yeah. There you go.
but whatchamacallit, yeah, he did a great job on the video. I didn't have much of a vision because I'm not a graphics or a visual designer. I design music, so
Yeah.
I
Hey.
I feel terrible.
Sound
for
painter.
I feel terrible for any director who has to work with me because I'm basically coming up to you and asking you to figure it out. I have this song and you just listen to it and then you do your thing.
Well, I like it. The song was about blazing. You know. Sorry, guys. We're trying to get the cat off.
It's all good.
The cat.
He hasn't bit me, but he wants to cuddle with my leg, and I can feel his claws, and I really, really have this itch I want to scratch, but I know the moment I reach down there, he's gonna take it as like, I want to bite you. So I'm trying to avoid it. Come on, bro.
You're playing it good though. There you go. Allie in the chat says, "I'm enjoying the theory explanations." Lol. You know, she is a music teacher herself, so she knows quite a bit.
Please come and help me. Please, I barely passed. I really.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Alyssa, if you're watching the show, feel free to hit up Ghost the Young Sage, and then maybe you guys can talk music. She's a great piano player.
I'm a terrible
and singer.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a concert pianist. I'm more of like a lead guitarist trapped in a piano.
I'm a 25 MIDI key kind of guy.
I hear where I can play chords, but that's only because I got a machine that makes it easy for me to play chords. Like
well, at least you learned how to use it.
I learned the intervals enough to know how to write it in MIDI. You know what I mean? So because of that, when I make a mistake, I can fix it.
There you go.
And I hear when I cut my fingers, I broke my hand when I was in high school, so made it pretty difficult to make music.
How bad was the guy's face? No, I'm kidding.
It was a locker, and it was just fine, guys.
Oh, Jesus.
It was just fine.
Oh, no.
Don't ever lose.
Don't lose it.
Don't lose control on inanimate objects, okay?
Yeah.
They have no feeling.
Oh, man. Anyway, well, I feel you, man. It's all good, though. You know, I'm sure now you find ways to get that feeling out.
That's what
in the tunes.
See, I wasn't making music back then. See, that was actually...
That was the missing link?
It really was. I was writing, but you know, something about poetry is when you write it down and you don't go and perform it anywhere, it's not sitting. It's
because you need to feel others' emotion, right? Is it like a...
Yeah, Langston Hughes had that poem.
The dopest.
What happens to a festering sore? Does it ooze? Does it sag? Or does it explode? That's a horrible explanation for what I'm going for, but
I gotta look that up.
It's literally what I mean is that if you have something bugging you and you're trying to get it out and it's not going anywhere, then are you really getting it out? Go up inside if you don't get it out, because if that's the case, you really should figure out how to do that.
I completely agree with you, man. And you know what? That was always my thing. Guitar always got it out for me. And when I was younger, I used to draw a lot. And I was always doing portraits and just drawing. Loved it. And at some point, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, I am not creating anything. Like, I'm not making up characters. I'm not creating humans. I'm redrawing things that already exist. And I felt like an emptiness all of a sudden. It was weird, man.
That's a really interesting take on drawing.
Man. But only my style, because I was just replicating. I wasn't. It's just because I was. And then
you were drawing from memory.
Yeah, or just drawing from what I was looking at. And then later I would start making things up, and I would draw moons, and I drew my album cover, and I did some things here and there. And now I do use art as like I make things for the show or whatever, But at that time I just kind of fell out of love with it, and I picked up the guitar at 13, and that kind of filled in this really cool gap for me.
That's incredibly lucky for you, man, because I didn't pick up music until much later. And
when did you actually?
After 18 was when I started rapping.
No way.
I didn't get into production until like three years after that.
Did you feel comfortable in the beginning? Like, who did you rap in front of at the first time? Okay. Like with the homies or your family or who?
This is an interesting story. I had no intention of being a rapper. I'm a writer. And I love writing, so I wrote everything from, love poetry to sad, depressing poetry to I'm gonna fuck you up poetry. So eventually, I started getting into like writing in those crazy. You remember? You probably don't. This was like early hip hop, not early hip hop, early 2000s hip hop, where everybody was becoming a rapper, and they had those stupid, crazy poetry sites where everybody would go and have those battle threads. Like it was like rap battles, but it took away the pressure of being in front of people.
I remember the rap battles at American.
Those are
at
those
our
are
high
awesome,
school
though, because that's part of you build up your persona. That's a whole different ballgame. What I'm talking about is creative writing without the pressure.
Wow. So was it like people like talking about like
It was really incredible.
a lot of relationships?
Yeah, it was so stupid. It was so stupid. And as a kid, you were
Aw.
just so psyched to be involved in this aggressive platform where you weren't going to get punched in the face.
That's awesome.
But I tried it once and was like, this is horrible. None of this just makes me want to go and find this guy like, right now. This has no, like, this is not for people who will whoop somebody's ass in
That's
real life.
so
You don't
funny.
go on to threads. You just wait. So
you just pull their thread.
yeah,
That's
but
amazing.
that didn't work for me. So I was stifled creatively as far as like I had no intention of being a rapper. I thought my image was a problem. Guys, what do you think?
Everybody in the chat, let us know about Ghost the Young Sage image.
Yeah.
Which I think, what is your image? Like, what would you? What? I don't know how I would describe that if somebody asked me, but you know, I'd like to ask you.
Wow, I've never actually answered that question before.
You know, I've never asked it to anybody because it's like, what the fuck? But
everybody says
since we're here,
that I'm your neighborhood friendly white boy. I guess.
well, you know what? Out here, that is a rarity.
Yeah, I guess everywhere else but South Florida knows nothing about that.
Yeah, that is very true because I lived in Virginia for about 3 years,
And you were the
and I was the neighborhood. Yeah, the brown guy, the friendly neighborhood brown dude.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's Miami has a very for Caucasian people, you can go one of two ways, and I'm glad I fell to the side.
Yes, I am too, man. I am too.
Yeah,
The non-meth side.
yeah. It's definitely. I don't like.
Those are stereotypes.
I don't like the Everglades.
Oh no! No camo hats. No camo Bass
You
Pro
won't
Shop
catch
hats.
me in a buggy or a rocking John Deere.
There's no mud on your tires.
Nah, man.
Okay.
Nah.
That's hilarious. Wait, no, shout out to the
Oh,
rednecks.
okay. I'm a gamer. That's a good image.
Okay.
There you go. I'll take that.
Okay, cool, man. What are you playing these days?
I like shooting games, but you know,
Cool.
lately I've been playing a lot of Smash Bros. A lot of Smash Bros.
Whoa, which one? The new?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Ultimate.
Ultimate. The Switch.
The Switch.
They just got Ken and Ryu in there, didn't they?
No, they've had that one since the version from the Wii
Brawl?
U. Yeah, no, the one from Wii U. They had one after Brawl that came out for the Wii U, and that one was when Ken and Ryu were released, and everybody was freaking out. Now, it's funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah,
because
they re-released Ken. What the fuck?
No. In Ultimate, they went out of their way. Basically, they said this was the last one, so they put in every character.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right, man. I was. It's funny. I'm not even a Smash fan, but when a new one comes out, it's always a big hype. It's
This
just a
one
fun
was
time.
the biggest hype. I've never seen anything like it, but
Yeah.
still, I was part of it. So I
So is
enjoyed
the best one?
by far, they went out of there. A lot of people, because of the trollingness of our culture, they went all the way. You know what I mean? They couldn't go
Yeah.
half-assed on the final Smash. People would have,
That's
really,
true, right? You know, they did it to themselves by putting Sonic in one of them, and like at that point, the internet's gonna be like, "What else you got?"
When they put Sonic in, it broke the game. I mean,
Oh, how was he in the game?
in the first one that they put him in, he was literally untouchable. He was like Ricky Williams in NFL Street.
Wow,
He was
dude.
like Ricky Williams in NFL Street.
Dude, Ricky
If anybody
Williams.
ever
That's
play-
early
shout out-
2000s. Shout out.
Shout out to NFL Street. If you ever play that game, you know when Ricky Williams got the game breaker.
Shout out to the Street series. Did they have like a soccer one or no?
I think so. It's called
FIFA Street? No. Street soccer. No. Street football.
Strikers or something. I don't know.
I don't know, but there was NBA Street for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There was NFL Street, which everybody loved.
That was fun, but
I'm not much of a sports guy, so I wasn't really into them, but I got into the 2K series.
I wasn't into
Here's a little
sports
whistle.
video games when I was younger. I played Madden, but the earlier Madden. So when I try to play it now, I'm just totally lost. After the hit stick, I got lost.
Oh, I never got into. You know, I didn't know the rules to basketball, so I bought 2K. I bought 2K14 because honestly, that's my. I have a weird attention span, folks. Like even though I managed to get a podcast up and running.
It's with help.
Absolutely, and
Shout out to
the lovely Claudia, always holding it down, letting us know that hooking it up with the beers, letting me know my mics were off earlier.
You can't do a podcast and get beer at the same time. That's
No,
not possible.
No, it ain't. Oh, look, we're sending kisses to each other. Yay!
Pardon me, guys. I'm just trying to find my
We're just trying to
headpiece for my e-cigarette.
Oh, go for it, man.
Where the hell I put that thing?
Yeah, man. So we were talking about video games for a second. So what shooters are you playing these days? You said that's your preferred genre.
I was playing the Modern Warfare remake.
Dude, Modern Warfare 2?
No, it was the Call of Duty 4 remake, not the Modern Warfare. It's not come out yet, if I'm not mistaken. Or it's on the verge of it, but it doesn't matter. I was playing the retro one, and that shit is...
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they really got the game mechanics right.
They changed the AI
and the spawns and a lot of things.
Wow, dude, I didn't think I thought they would just literally remake it. That's good. That's an actual remake.
It's amazing. I love it. I mean, it just feels. I was terrible at it the first time I played it, and then I realized I don't remember how to play the original.
So Call of Duty is your favorite shooter?
Yeah, but they ruined it with Ghosts, in my opinion.
I don't remember that one.
That was the one with Eminem on the soundtrack. I love Eminem. Shout out to Eminem. But
Shout out to Eminem. But
that was not a good look for anybody.
Oh no! My brother was obsessed.com with Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, that's
the one that took over.
That's my favorite. When they remaster that one, it's gonna get more buys than any other.
Yeah, he's really good at the game. Don't get me wrong. He has a reason to be obsessed.
Everybody was very good at the game. That's
right.
Why they put nukes in it?
Yeah. Oh man.
If you weren't good at the game, why'd they put nukes in it, guys?
That's so funny, dude.
They wanted to make sure everybody knew just how good they were.
This is amazing. So check this shit out. My brother was so not upset, but like he enjoyed the game so much. He came to visit me. All right. I haven't seen my brother in half my life.
Wow.
That literally. This man brought his Xbox to Miami with his headset.
This is a big moment.
It was amazing, dude. He would wake up and put his headset on and just tune in. And don't get me wrong, I'm not making fun of the guy. Like I actually got to know his friends because he built a community with himself. Like those were his friends.
That's amazing.
And I got to know his friends and they were nice. And it was sometimes I would play and he would just be like, "That's my brother playing." So be cool.
Gamer depression is the reason why we have so many trolls.
Yeah, well, you know what? It is around that time that the tide turned.
Yeah.
2012. Anyway, guys, thank you everybody for joining us on episode 87 of Shut Up, Let's Talk so far. Join along here with Ghost the Young Sage, rapper extraordinaire, also recording technique man.
Oh, we still haven't gotten into those topics. So what were you going to ask me about mixing techniques?
Mixing techniques, man. Earlier we were talking about your voice, man. Your voice is in such a low register. My cat loves it apparently. Yeah. And it's weird. The cat's meow.
I've seen that cat attack everybody, and the fact that it doesn't is a testament to what we're talking about right now.
It's true, actually, man. That's honestly insane. It makes me rethink like behavior with him. But because I'm like, wow, like if I just kept it chill, maybe he would just kind of like.
You just
leave me alone.
Lower your voice.
Yeah, right.
Say,
just gotta stay quiet. But
okay.
So anyway, man. So how do you get that to mixing? Because you're also a producer.
You were saying